Hey everyone, David here from multitool.org. I'm going to be doing something a little different today. I'm going to be doing a review of the TSProf Pioneer. Trying to find a way to mount my phone so I could do this, yet walk around and show you all the features is going to be interesting, but I'm going to try and attempt to do something. One of the things that I really need to get is a proper holder for my phone. I plan on having something that's clamped to the table, maybe comes up above the item I'm reviewing to make things a little bit easier. But in the meantime, this method I'm using will have to work because I can't see what's behind the phone as it's recording. So hopefully all this comes across like I want to portray. TSProf has been in business for a little over a decade. They started out in 2010. They've released several different models over the last decade, ranging with different features and functions to different sizes, whether it be something for people that are hobbyists or somebody that wants to sharpen knives for a living. So that's, obviously scaled things from really big down to really small. The Pioneer is their most recent offering. It is also what they say is the most compact version that they currently offer, which, considering some of the designs I've seen that they have with like where this piece here would fold down, etc., I don't think it's the most compact version they offer, but we'll just take their word at it, I guess. When it comes out of the box, this piece here is folded down for storage. One of the pros that they say is this can be completely disassembled. This can be separated from this. This can be folded down. This front piece can be taken off, and the unit can be stored pretty easily. The whole base here is one milled aluminum billet that's coated. Everything else is all CNC milled. The base itself is not really big. You can either hold it while you're sharpening. The device does come with what they call a G clamp, where you can bolt this base to a table to make things a little more stable. Instead, I've opted to go with a metal base plate that they sell for the KO3 and a couple other models. You just simply use these big knurled thumb screws to screw this into the base, and rather than having to C-clamp this sharpener down, provides a very heavy, and I do mean heavy, this probably weighs at least 10 pounds, to hold the unit down during sharpening and make things a little bit easier. Things that I like, things I found interesting, things I've done to modify. I like the fluid of the sharpener arm. Mine needs a little bit of oil, but I feel that compared to some other sharpeners out there that use a plastic bushing, I guess you would say, in this pivot for range of motion. The all metal one, I guess it has a very thin plastic sleeve on the inside. Perhaps I can't see it. That's just a guess. But motion is very fluid. They come with a stop collar that I put on the very end, so I don't come off out of the pivot here up top. Allows me to stop, and usually where this stops is usually where the stone will end on the blade somewhere. Thank goodness. The angle for the stone, or the angle that you're trying to find on your edge, whether you're using the Sharpie marker method or you're trying to set it to a particular degree, is done by moving this shaft up and down. There are indicators on the shaft to tell you what degree you're at. Like the one where my thumb's at, for instance, is a very shallow angle at 15 degrees. Mine is currently set somewhere above 20, probably 22 or so. But whenever I put a angle guide on there, that'll tell me a lot better as to where I'm at. Moving this up and down is done by loosening this wheel and adjusting this up or down to adjust to the appropriate angle. It comes with a little rubber O-ring here. A little rubber O-ring could serve as a thickness compensator. What you would do is you would put your stone, you'd put your stone in between the rubber and the base, and if you had a stone that was less or greater than the stone that you're using, you either go up or go down to compensate for different thicknesses of stones. Things that I didn't like about it, things that I did like about it. Other than the fluid of motion, I did not like the parking hook. The parking hook is this little plastic piece that kind of goes in the pivot area here. Whenever you have a stone loaded on here, it tends to be more like this. It definitely has some weight to it. I would have liked to have had something that came out maybe to allow you to hook the arm onto it versus this two-prong plastic system that they got. Because I feel after over and over me parking the system that the plastic piece gets pushed further this way up the shaft, and I have to go back and wiggle it back a little bit so it's more towards the end, and I get a better seat. The stone holder would go like this. Here, let me get a stone for you guys. The stone, we'll use the TSProf stones here. The thing with the stone holder, it holds the stones just fine. I'm using the default tension that TSProf has set on it. If I wanted to increase tension to make sure that the stone was held a little more, I would loosen this knurled screw and back it this way to make it a little bit tighter. But I think the tension's fine. I really don't have any issues with that. One could also move this further down if you wanted to fit like a KME 4-inch stone perhaps. But I feel with the size of the system, a 4-inch stone would not do the system justice. So stick with the 6-inch Edge Pro stones, CMBs, Venev, all those, much better. I can't really say I don't like. I don't like the way that this spins freely, this part of the stone holder. I almost wish that it was like how this is fixed. I wish there was a way to keep this from rotating, because I feel that when I change stones, I have to constantly re-angle this back to where it's at, hold it, put the stone in, and let go in order to make sure it's held. I wish there was a way to keep that oriented in a fashion so I can attach it without having to rotate each time. But that's a minor inconvenience. I like the smoothness of the clamp assembly, how it rotates. You pull back on the lever here to free up tension, and it will freely spin in either direction. You would let go of the tab here in order to allow tension to come back on the spring in order to hold things fast. This thing is extremely smooth. Like if I hold this, it will freely rotate. It is probably the smoothest rotating knife sharpener that I've dealt with yet. And I haven't reviewed a whole lot of knife sharpeners. You guys that are following me on the forum and reading the reviews that I've wrote so far, has been Edge Pro, KME, and that's it so far. I have messed around with some others that I haven't reviewed yet, but by far this is the smoothest. I really appreciate the amount of engineering that has gone into this system. It's just crazy how precise this system is. The clamps are moved in and out via these thumb screws. You would unscrew them to move them all the way out for a large fixed blade, or have them closer for a smaller blade. I tend to sharpen a lot of knives that are in their 3.5 to 4-inch range, sometimes smaller. The website states that it can sharpen knives up to like an inch or so, but without any kind of adapter, that is just not possible. And that's what I ran into when I went to sharpen the smaller knives. I was like, that doesn't work. The only way you could do it without getting an extra piece was to have both brackets on the left or the right and have the knife clamped with the tip facing inward, or go with a single clamp. So I have went with an aftermarket adapter by PrintShop company that is carbon fiber, that will allow me to have both clamps dead center in the middle. Hang on a second, guys. All right, everybody, sorry about that. I had a previous engagement I wasn't aware of. So I'll probably edit that video and kind of get it where it needs to be. Trying to remember where I was left off at. I believe it had to do with the clamp adapter I had here. The TSProf, what do you want to call these things? The tines, the forks, the clamps. There we go. They will only move into a certain amount before they stop because of the pivot in the center here. So one has to get either a third-party adapter such as this, which, as I mentioned a moment ago, is from PrintSharpCo company. They have an Etsy account, eBay account. Should be fairly easy to find. This is a carbon fiber PLA type material, super rigid, super tough. The ideal thing to do would be to get some L clamps, L brackets, excuse me, from TSProf. They sell out an awful lot because they're a popular item, because people want to sharpen smaller knives, and those clamps are essential for making that happen. So in the meantime, I have this, but I do have some L clamps, which I may touch on in a future video mentioning. My clamps, I've got some painter's tape on them just for a little bit of protection on knives. I've read people plastic dipping them, which might be something that I end up doing. Only other thing I can think I want to touch on would be perhaps the stones that come with it, and the Axi Cube, which is a TSProf, I guess you'd say, endorsed angle finder, angle cube. The stones themselves are diamond plates, as they call them. There comes 5 in a box. They range from 150 grit all the way up to 1,000. They're thinner than the other. Than the other stones I've used with KME and Edge Pro. They're pretty thin, but I guess they don't have to have a whole lot to them since they're diamond bonded metal. Performance-wise, I think they do pretty good. I can't say longevity, quality-wise, how good they'll be, but so far they seem to remove and keep a consistent quality to them. So they must be pretty decent, I would think, for the price that somebody invests in a TSProf system, that they would put some quality stones in with the system. So they automatically come with the Pioneer, and anything else you may want would be probably better than these. We'll call these the basic set. We'll call these like a starter set. I've got some Genda stones I'm currently using, which are a lot thicker than the TSProf, but I'll touch on those in a different video as far as quality and how well they go. Currently testing those out. As far as the inclinometer, or however you want to call it, angle cube, TSProf endorses, I don't know if they make it, but it's a tiny little cube as opposed to, one I have that's probably at least twice this size. They state on their website that it's made specifically for sharpening, like it's actually made for their systems. And it's got a couple more features, 4 different modes that there is available. I'm only going to use the one just for the angle cube. TSProf states for the Pioneer I should have been using mode, let's see what mode I'm in. I'm in mode 2. They said in mode 3 would work. I've been unable to make that work, so mode 2 works for me. It would just be a matter of putting the cube on on your Pioneer, there's actually a little flat metal spot. Since the Pioneer's all aluminum, they actually have screwed a steel plate to snap that joker right down. You would zero your cube on your sharpener, and then they have a nice little convenient spot up top, so whenever you were trying to find set angle of your stone, it's right there in front of you. TSProf does make a I'm gonna turn this off. It is rechargeable, which is a neat feature. I guess it being this small, it would have to take like a watch battery if not, but it's rechargeable, has a bunch of cool features that I'll probably never use, but still cool nonetheless. I was gonna touch on something, my mind went blank. Fudge, I don't remember. Anyways, I guess we've gone off the rails because I don't remember what the heck I was gonna talk about. Probably something to do with the Angle Cube. Anyways, on the whole, what do I think? I think the Pioneer is an outstanding system. Of the sharpening systems that I've reviewed so far, I think it is the most capable, the most precise, the precision, the milling, the attention to detail and quality is insane. The guys at TSProf are doing an outstanding job in terms of producing these units and delivering, consistent quality. The price point for different items, I think, is a little on the high end when you consider other sharpeners in the market, whether it be KME or Edge Pro or even Halfstone. So I think prices are reasonable for what you get, but I do think unless you're willing to put, I guess they're saying, put your money where your mouth is, and want to invest in something that's going to last you a lifetime, then some people may look at the price and go, oh, no, that's way out of my ballpark. But in terms of precision and delivering quality, definitely the Pioneer. Pioneer is really, really nice. I didn't mention earlier the wooden ball on the end of the stone arm, I think, is a nice touch. It adds a bit of warmness to an otherwise industrial design. When I was mentioning about the whole prices thing, this Axi Cube, this little tiny cube, while really amazing and does an awesome job and has not failed me yet, this joker is expensive. This would have to be something for somebody that does an awful lot of sharpening and would really want to use this on a daily basis, because a typical angle cube, which is twice the size, will run me $15-$20 maybe. This joker is $130. Very, very crazy priced. What it does extremely well. I'll have to dive into some of the other features and see if I could use it for other things other than knife sharpening. But it's a cool little item, but I don't know if it's that cool. But it's delivered on the results that I want with this system. I have super clean edges, super consistent, and is an outstanding system. I think the addition of something to put the clamps closer towards the center, like this adapter here, and the base, and a decent angle finder are essential for making this kit the best that you can possibly get. Yeah, I recommend it. If you guys would like to see any more knife sharpening reviews, let me know.